Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Corrado Chiropractic during the pandemic. This is tip number 7. My name is Dr. David Corrado. It's a beautiful spring day. I hope all our patients, family, and friends are doing well and staying safe and healthy during these times. Today, I'd like to go over something that's really important in my office, and we do a lot of. It's balanced rehabilitative exercises. And a lot of you know because a lot of you have been through this with me before. Before we start, I'd just like to go over a little bit of the science first. We have, where does our balance actually come from? It comes from different areas of our body. It comes from our brains, from an area in the back of our brains called the cerebellum, from our eyes, our inner ears, and also within our muscles, joints, and tendons. In our muscles, joints, and tendons, there's specialized sensors called proprioceptors, and what they do is they give us a kinesthetic awareness of our body, which means we know where our arms and our legs and our body is positioned in time and space. An example of this would be if you were to get dressed in the dark on a winter's morning, you didn't want to turn the lights on. You're still able to get dressed because you know where all your limbs are. You may not get the color of your socks right, but you can get your socks on nonetheless. Areas in our body that have a high density of proprioceptors are our feet, because we need to move around on the ground and be able to feel the terrain, and also in our necks, and that's what keeps our head level to the horizon, so when we move around, we're not tilted. An important concept of that, just as a side note, is that some people that have some pathologies of the neck or some problems with the neck will get some cervicogenic vertigo, so it could be also a source of balance issues. When we do these rehabilitative exercises, if you notice a lot, I do it with people with ankles, knees, hips, shoulders. And the reason why we have you in an unstable situation like this is because it's not good just to lock your joint into one range of motion, like you would a machine. Just lock your arm in a machine, just a hypertrophy muscle. It does nothing to stimulate the neurogenic feedback back to your brain and that's a really important part of rehabilitative exercise, not just to increase strength or flexibility, but to stimulate the nervous system. So when we're in a machine and we're just locked, we're just hypertrophying a muscle, but we have no enrichment of the nervous system. When we stand on a disc or when we're standing on one foot and we're wobbling around, our limbs are in all different positions, and this is more enriching and better for your rehab. So that's the reason why we do it. So let's just start off simply right now. And before I get started, I just want to have a little disclaimer here. If you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, instability in your ankles, things with balance issues in the brain or MS or anything like that, you may have to come and talk to me first before we do something like this, because I don't want anyone falling and breaking or hurting themselves. But there are ways around it though. So I do have older patients that have bars where you can stand in a corner of a room to do this, so you can balance yourself. There's a lot of different variations that we can do. The most simplest thing that we can do right now is just stand on one foot. So I got my one foot in front of me like this, and I'm going to stand here. If you notice, I'm in stocking feet too. And the reason why is because I get more feedback to my brain this way. If I stand like this, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sunglasses off, and I'm going to try to close my eyes too. And this makes it a little bit more difficult. I'm closing my eyes, and if you can hold this for 30 seconds, that's really good. You notice I'm starting to lose a little balance. I tapped out there a little bit. Okay, so 30 seconds is supposed to be the minimum for that, and that's really tough. You can grip the floor with your feet to help you out a little bit more. So to work that with some rehab, I can come over here and get a dumbbell. Okay, so here we go. Now, my shoulder is in a whole bunch of different minute positions. As I curl the dumbbell, I switch sides. I'm going to do a lateral raise on this side. Okay. My shoulder, my elbow, my wrist have to be in all different locations as I wobble around here. Okay, so that's just doing that with some bare feet on a level surface here. We could step that up a notch and make that a little bit more difficult. Most of my patients are familiar with this. It's called a wobble disc. We use this quite often too. I'm going to stand on this surface right here, and there's knobs right here, and what that does is stimulates the bottom of my feet. This increases some of the neurogenic proprioceptive stimulus that comes up into my brain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down here. I'm going to take a step up. I'm going to step up on the other side, and we can balance like this. Not on too good yet. And this is really tough. Make that a little bit more difficult now. We step on it with one foot, and this gets extremely difficult. So testing my skills here as the doctor and the teacher for my patients. And if we go back to our dumbbell now, I'm just going to do this on 2 feet because it's really rough. Back on 2 feet here now. I'm gonna do my lateral raise, and you can see I have to control not only where my feet are, I have to tighten my core down strongly, and my shoulder is moving around in a whole bunch of different positions. Once again, stimulating the neurogenic characteristics of the exercise in order to help with the rehabilitation. After that, we could step it up a little bit even more than this. All right, so this is the last one. This is the toughest one. I don't expect you guys to be able to do this. You can exercise kneeling on the ball here, and this is the ultimate in proprioceptive stimulation. One last one. Give it a try. I'll sit on the ball and use no legs at all. Okay, I'm holding myself up here. Got a little tap out, and that's okay because it's about exercising and learning how to balance, and this one's tough too. I got one last one that's even worse, and this is the way I train all the time, so I'd like to show you that next. Okay, so I'm going to train on these railroad ties here. So I'm going to walk on these railroad ties. I'm using my footy shoes here to give me some better feel, and I'm going to use the proprioceptors in my feet to be able to stay balanced. I think it'll make it a little bit more daunting here, and I'll try it blindfolded. I don't have a blindfold, so hey Johnny Razor, can I borrow one of your headbands?
Hey everybody.
Thanks, buddy. Let's get this on and let's give this a shot. Here we go. Okay, so we did most of that. I was pretty tough with the blindfold on there. It was definitely a nervous system workout. If you like what you see here with these balanced rehabilitative exercises, don't hesitate to give me a call at 856-596-0086, or you can visit us on our website at www.marltonchiropractor.com. Please like us on Facebook at Corrado Chiropractic Rehabilitation Center, LLC. We have those wobble discs for sale at our office. The Metagenics store is up and running, and we're still doing some telemedicine if you prefer to do it that way too. I hope you enjoyed the video. Everyone stay safe and healthy, and remember, we got your back. Wait a minute, I don't think I'm done yet. I'm gonna go a couple more rounds.